I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. There was no chance I was going to hit that note or any of the notes. Welcome to my dojang. This is KungFuPizzaPrty, and I'm your host, Brandon Knight. And today we are here to review the greatest movie to ever come to Netflix, KPop Demon Hunters. Did you really think, dear listener, that I wasn't going to talk about this movie before the end of the year? It's only been the biggest thing to happen this entire year that was good. Everything else wasn't too great. And joining me here today for this review is the woman who asked to be on the show. That's the bar. That's how easy it is to get on the show. You just have to ask. Claire. Claire is back with us. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Is this the first time that you have been on the show to talk about a movie you actually wanted to watch?
Well, technically, I wanted to watch The Karate Kid. I just didn't end up, loving it.
I think I'm still surprised. So you were on for The Karate Kid, and as particularly the ending didn't quite live up to what you were hoping for. The one that still surprises me is that you were here for A Karate Christmas Miracle, which came out about this time last year. I turned it on and you just plopped right down and was like, I'm a part of this now. Of course, we all were deceived when we went and saw Bill Skarsgård's remake of The Crow. Still, to this day, the worst movie I've had to review here on the show. And I've reviewed a Steven Seagal movie, so it was pretty bad. Here on KungFuPizzaPrty, I seek to deliver high-flying action in 30 minutes or less and serve up some wisdom one slice at a time. But I'm going to be honest, no idea how we're going to do that 30 minutes or less part with this movie. I have...
It's not going to happen. You're going to be doing whatever push-ups or whatever you do when you...
I have something ready. I have something ready to go. A challenge for those of you who haven't listened to the show before. Anytime I go over that 30 minutes or less mark, once we hit 31 or whatever, I have to take on a challenge to repay my debt and restore my honor, so that way I can be the podcast host with the most honor. That is my goal in life. So we'll see how we do here today. I've got a challenge tucked away just in case. Sometimes I just kind of have a feeling. And there's just so much to talk about with this movie. So, this is KungFuPizzaPrty. KPop Demon Hunters. KPop Demon Hunters has been a phenomenon, a global phenomenon, or at least a United States phenomenon. What was it about this movie that initially piqued your interest? What was it that initially kind of brought you into, okay, I'm ready to watch this movie?
I mean, it was all over the internet. I wouldn't say I'm incredibly chronically online, but I am a bit chronically online. And it was just everywhere. There were memes, there were people talking about it, the songs were everywhere, and just hearing people talk about it and also saying how important it was to have this film with, that was made by and starring Asian people, Korean people. And just how important it was to boost that, because it shows that there is a market for it, and people do want to people want to watch diverse stories. They want to consume diverse stories.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to get this part out of the way right off the bat. If you're one of the three people who still hasn't seen this movie, and the holdup is the whole K-pop part, I know pop music is not going to be for everybody, but this movie is the complete package. The music is very good, and it is one of the biggest parts of the film, both storyline-wise and also just the success of the movie now that we're moving into award season. It's the music is a big part, but this movie is a complete package. And one of those important parts of this film is the fact that it is deeply rooted both in Korean pop culture and also just like culture and in general. Just like we have characters like Derpy Tiger and Susie, who is a bird, and they're from an old Korean like folklore story. This is a martial art media combat review show, and so I'm going to talk about the weapons. I did a deep dive into the weapons of Huntrix, and big surprise, there's a lot to unpack there because there was thought put into it more than just, all right, martial arts, katana, nunchuck, bow staff. Like there is actually like purpose behind the weapons that they chose. It's a deeply cultural film, and as you said, and I know this is a big part of your Bookstagram content, trying to be bringing about diverse stories and uplifting diverse voices and perspectives as well. Since the last time you were on the show, your handle has changed, so why don't you just go ahead and let everyone know what your handle is for Bookstagram?
Okay, so my new handle is at Reader of the Rebellion. I mostly changed it because I did start occasionally posting Star Wars content. I did start with I was going through all the Clone Wars episodes, and then I stopped because I needed a mental health break. Not because Clone Wars is terrible, but just because my mental health was kind of a little bit lower. But I'm hoping in the new year I can get back onto that and start reviewing those again.
I hope so, because I was having a good time with that too. I'm sure we will talk about Star Wars stuff at some point, at least the Acolyte, because I've heard it's a little bit more like martial arty. But it's just something about Star Wars. Like, I'm so burnt out on all the other like Marvel extending universe stuff, but like Star Wars, even when it's not that great, kind of brings me in. Anyway, we're here for K-Pop Demon Hunters. So the thing for me, I knew that it was a popular movie with the kids. I work with kids. But another movie that was popular with the kids this year was a Minecraft movie, which I was not going to watch. I love Jack Black, but I was not going to watch the Minecraft movie. It was when I started hearing adults talk about the movie.
That's so funny, because I only heard adults talking about it. Like, people that I follow on Threads and on Instagram were talking, like people my age were talking about how much they absolutely loved this movie.
Well, keep in mind, I don't have friends. Keep in mind, I'm not like surrounded by adults as much as you are. You have a real job. I work with children. You work with grown-ups. But it was actually my boss, Jacqueline, shout out Jacqueline, who was like just talking a lot about like how much she loved the movie for the messaging, and really for the messaging was like a big part for her. And then the kids really like the music. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I think there's something here. Plus, I was already kind of interested in it because it was so popular. And shout out to Sony. They can't make a live action movie, but at some point in the very recent history, Sony figured out really cool animation styles. And my favorite category at the Oscars is Best Animated Feature. So it just seemed like I should probably watch this because it's going to get nominated, and it should win. I don't know. We looked. There's nothing else this year that could really compete.
If it doesn't win, I am probably going to fly to LA and burn the theater to the ground. That's all I'm going to say.
If it's Zootopia 2, then we have another Toy Story 4 on our hands. Because who should have won the year? You ever want to piss off Claire? Ask her. Here we go. So who should have won the year that Toy Story 4 won Best Animated Feature?
Klaus. Oh my God, have you seen that movie? I know you have, but like the animation is beautiful. The story is beautiful. I cried. I mean, I cried a lot of things, but still like emotional. It was, I'm sorry. Toy Story 4 shouldn't even exist. And it beat one of the most beautiful animated movies I have ever seen. I don't care that it was a Christmas movie. It was gorgeous. And I like Disney, but I love when other animators, other animation companies get to shine, because just because Disney is the biggest doesn't mean that they're the best all the time.
Yeah, here's the thing is that I think when it comes to Best Animated Feature, the animation style should be taken into consideration. And I'm sorry, by this point, Pixar's animation style, it's the same every time. There's nothing unique about it. At one point in time, yes, Pixar could have just rode on their animation style, although they were also making better movies then too. Finding Nemo would be an example. They won Best Animated Picture. It's a beautiful movie and it's a good story. Toy Story 4 is not needed. It right. doesn't, and neither does 5. 5 does not need to happen.
Like Toy Story 4 was just like a thing that they did because kids like Toy Story. Like it to me, like a good animated movie has appeal for all generations, and if the movie that you made is like really just geared towards kids and selling toys, then you don't get to win Best Animated Movie. You don't. I'm sorry.
Take it from Sony, who doesn't like to make money. We're gonna get to that here in a little bit. Not everything needs to be a money grab, especially with toys. So KPop Demon Hunters as a story centers around this group of girls named Huntrix. The story goes that every generation there is a trio of women who are chosen to fight against the powers of darkness, the demonic realm, specifically a demon king named Huima?
Hima? I think
Hima?
Yeah. I feel like some of the characters pronounce it a little bit differently. I think it's one of those sounds that we don't really have in the English language. Like it's like a H and a G and a K all at the same time.
So this trio of women are chosen every generation to battle this demon king through the power of music and really cool magic weapons. And they use their music to eventually build up enough power through the strength of their fans, essentially, to seal the Honmoon, to seal the Honmoon, which is a protective shield over the world from the demonic realm. This film follows the current group, Huntrix, led by Rumi and supported by Mira and Zoe. And they are about ready to seal the Honmoon. They're about at that point when the demons get a really unique idea. Let's start a boy band. So they start a group called the Saja Boys, led by a man named Genu, a demon named Genu, who the plan is to win over all of Huntrix's fans so that way they can invade the human world. In the meantime, there's a very important subplot that comes from this.
Are we trying to be spoiler free?
No, we're just gonna go for
okay.
it.
I just wanted to make sure before I say.
We're gonna go for it. So it is also revealed that Rumi, whose mom was a member of the previous generation, the Starlight Sisters, I think is what it's called. Her mom had a relationship with a demon, and Rumi, is half human, half demon. Her mother is dead. I don't think they ever explain what happened to the dad. And she was raised by another member of the Starlight Sisters who also functions as like the trainer, mentor, Yoda, Mr. Miyagi of the group. Celine Dion. Celine. And so part of Rumi's story in this film, which she's basically the main focus of the three, is that other than Celine, nobody knows that she's part demon. The demons all have these, they basically look like tattoos. They're called patterns that reveal the fact that they're demons even when they're in human appearance. And so she's been concealing this the whole time. Basically, just to save a little bit of time, think Elsa in the first Frozen movie. A very similar conceal, don't feel kind of story arc for Rumi. There's one other important story arc in this film, and I want to kind of toss it to you because I feel like this kind of falls into your book world a little bit. Rumi and Jinu start a little relationship off to the side.
It's a bit of a...
How would you define it, book girl?
Budding enemies to lovers romance a little bit there.
And technically a major age gap.
Yes, it is. There is an age gap there. If we're going off tropes, if I was going to create a trope tree for what is it? Rujinu is their couple name. Age gap. We've got enemies to lovers. We've got, witty banter. We've got... I'm trying to think. Maybe even a little bit of He Falls First. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know what He Falls First is. I knew the other song.
He Falls First. He falls in love first.
Okay,
yeah.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Okay.
Yeah. A little bit of like her, trying to help redeem him type of thing. Yeah.
It works pretty well too.
Yeah.
We get a really good song through their relationship. Free, I think is what that one is called. All of the songs are bangers.
Yeah.
Producer Cooper is a big fan of what he calls Dun Dun Dun, but it's How It's Done, the opening track. Do you have a favorite?
I've been thinking about this because I knew you were going to ask me. And I really don't know. I feel like it changes all the time. Like sometimes I just really want to belt out Free because it's like just so heartfelt and emotional. And sometimes I just need to be hyped at work and I will just turn on How It's Done, and it like gets me in the mood to actually do my job. I actually also really like, this isn't really like one of the songs that the group sings, but it's actually the song when like Rumi and Jinu first meet and she like bumps her, and that's that song.
Oh.
That's on the soundtrack, and it's actually, even though it's like fully in Korean, I just really enjoy the way it sounds. It's nice. Just kind of fun and chill.
Upon the most recent watch, which was about an hour ago, I've been really into How It's Done as well, probably because that's the one I listen to with Cooper the most. Your Idol is starting to kind of sink on me a little bit. It's that "can I get the mic a little higher" line that I'm like, yeah.
It's so good. Oh my god.
So eventually, by the third act, it is revealed. We're skipping over a lot just because
Go watch the movie if you haven't already. What are you doing?
But by the third act, it is revealed to the other bandmates that Rumi is part demon, causes tension, which then leads to the big finale showdown where it's going to look like the demons are going to take over the world and the girls have to come back together and everything works out. It all works out. It's all good. The demons did not win.
It doesn't all work out.
Well, yeah, there is that part. Jinu doesn't really work out. Or the rest of the Saja boys, but they kind of had it coming.
Yeah, but...
Jinu had a redemption arc.
Yeah.
The rest of them did not.
No, the rest of... Because Jinu was a human, and he was then, like, became a slave to the demon world, whereas all of the other ones are like, they're just demons. Like, they weren't, they don't have a human soul.
True. That is true. So, as we said, this movie is the complete package. Great animation, an engaging story. The humor in this movie is really good. For all of the millennials out there listening to this who still haven't gotten to this movie, think Powerpuff Girls. Like, honestly, the dynamic between the girls is very reminiscent of Powerpuff Girls. The humor is very similar to the OG Teen Titans cartoon. Did you want to throw a joke in there?
I was just going to say, I'm the prettiest girl at the party.
Sure.
Because that's what I think of for some reason.
That's so funny. The story's really good, but you have the cultural influence, but you also have this really powerful messaging throughout this movie. It's one of those movies where, again, if K-pop's not for you, fine. It's fine. Go check out some of the metal covers that you can find. It's not fine with you. You can check out...
Don't talk to me.
You can find some of the cool metal covers on Instagram. There's like fun versions of the songs out there. One guy does a Slipknot cover of Soda Pop, and it is intense. Anyway, but there's thematically, this is a very powerful movie. As I said earlier, it's kind of a little bit of that OG Frozen, Conceal, Don't Feel, but it's a story that I think no matter who you are, you're going to find yourself somewhere in this movie. So we have this whole story of Rumi concealing who she is and then eventually like owning who she is, which I think is very easily something that you could see as like a living authentically. That's kind of a thing that all three girls in their own stories have. I would say, I don't know if this is a reach, but I would say that her story arc is very much queer coding of coming out. I would say it feels very much like a coming out story.
I mean, I think that is a fair interpretation. I don't think that was the intention behind the story. I do think that it's a very, that's a very, universal story of, seeing who you are, not hiding it, being who you are, accepting it, and celebrating it. I definitely think that is a big... that's an important thing for queer people, and queer people do need to hear that message for sure. I wouldn't necessarily say it was queer coded though.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Maybe it is. I don't know. I didn't immediately think of that, but I think that's an important thing for queer people to hear for sure.
I really like the part that resonated with me though, a little bit more than the authenticity story, though that is important and it's good to be reminded of. I really liked how the Demon King controls people, because basically what he does is he puts that intrusive thought that you're insecure about in your head. Mm-hmm. That no one will ever love you, that you are too much and not enough. And it is through those messages that he is able to take over people. It is through those insecurities. And obviously, as somebody, I've been talking about it before on the show, just somebody who is very much a part of the mental health community, I didn't anticipate that. That was the mind control aspect of it. There's a lot of metaphors in here about, fighting demons, but fighting demons and having patterns, but not necessarily the literal demons in the movie and the literal patterns. It's also supposed to be, I think one of the directors said that it is supposed to be also kind of a commentary on addiction recovery, talking about the patterns part. But yeah, I loved how they handled the mental aspect of negative thought control and all of that. How about you? What did you think thematically about this movie?
I mean, I really liked it. I think it was all some really, like, classic themes that, most people can relate to, while not being, I guess you could say, preachy or, like, super, like, tired. Like, it felt fresh while also reminding you, like, it's okay for you to be who you are, and the people who love you, who truly love you, are going to accept you for who you really are. And the people who are telling you to hide who you are, even if they're coming at it from a place of concern, like, that's not the right way to love someone. Like, don't be Celine. Don't tell people to hide themselves, because it's going to come out eventually, and the longer you wait, or, like, the more you try to push it down, the more it's going to hurt you and other people when it does finally come out. And so, like, just, like, not only you doing that and being your true self, but also being the type of person who encourages the people that they love to do that, and to not tell people to shove that down because it maybe makes you feel uncomfortable, or you don't like it, or you don't know how to handle it.
Yes, I agree. I want to talk a little bit more about Celine. I think we'll go ahead and go this route. Do you want to talk about sequels now?
I do want to talk about something real quick.
Okay, go ahead before we get
to... This is actually something... Yeah. So, this movie's amazing. But I do want to talk about, and I think, and, like, this isn't just to be silly, there was a small bit of controversy when the film came out among Vietnamese viewers. Okay. And I actually learned this, somebody that I'm in contact with through Bookstagram was telling us about it, and how they were just really frustrated. There is actually a line in How It's Done that says, "Fit check for my napalm era."
Oh, this part. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of Vietnamese people were upset because, if you don't know, the United States used napalm, which is an incendiary device, to kill a lot of people in Vietnam. And so a lot of people saw this as, like, you're not thinking about, like, what napalm was, and how it's not just, like, a cutesy, like, oh yeah, like, I'm in my hot era or whatever. Like, it's not just, like, a cute little term. Like, it's very serious, and it has, like, very serious consequences. All that to say, I don't think that means that you need to run out and boycott this movie. But I do think it's something to be aware of, because that's, on the surface, seems like a very Instagrammable post. I know the person I was talking to was very upset she'd seen it on t-shirts, and how it's just being used as this cutesy phrase. So I would say, if that is something that you're thinking about, maybe just don't use that line. I don't know if there's been any calls to remove it or anything like that, but, like, just treat it with respect, because a lot of people did needlessly die during the Vietnam War, a lot by the hands of our own country, because of this weapon that was used. So, anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I was, like, offended or anything by it. I did find it surprising that that was a line. And it's from a musical standpoint, it's a good line. I understand why it's on t-shirts. That whole sequence of that part of the song is really good. But that would make perfect sense that people in Vietnam or of Vietnamese descent would be like, hey, how about no?
Right.
How about no? Okay. Well, thanks for bringing that up. Anyway. I did not know that it was causing a bit of controversy, but it makes sense. It is an interesting line.
Yeah.
Yes. So now, would you like to talk about sequels?
Sure.
Okay. So TJ and I talked about this briefly during the review of The Karate Kid Part 3. Sony is allergic to making money. They don't like making money. I think everybody is aware of that, other than for PlayStation reasons. They're allergic to making money. And I've seen some stuff online poking fun at the fact that Netflix doesn't like it when the algorithm is wrong, and that basically nobody anticipated this movie blowing up, which we have made it pretty clear, and I'm sure if you've seen the movie, you agree, this was a recipe for success. When you were talking about the themes, it reminded me, this movie is not a classic film in the, like, oh, it's an old school animated film. No, it's very modern. But thematically, it is very classic Disney, and that's the best part of Disney. Like, it reminds you of a classic Disney movie thematically. The rest of it is very modern. But there was never really any intention to do more of these movies. They really should have phoned it in somewhere in the process.
Right. Like, how are they going to make a soundtrack that every single song is a bop, and the animation was amazing and the storyline was amazing, and they did put all their heart and soul into that, and then Netflix thought, oh, nobody's going to want to see this?
I guess just to put it into perspective a little bit, I heard no promotional stuff for this movie when it was time for it to come out. You know what I did hear a lot of? Happy Gilmore 2. That, I think, is what Netflix is mad about. It's that Happy Gilmore 2 went over like a lead balloon while this thing was soaring higher and higher. The plan...
This movie came out in June.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has been riding at number one, both as a movie and for the music, the rest of the year. Even the Queen, Taylor Swift, couldn't knock this movie down. No matter how hard Travis Kelce's wood is, he even couldn't knock this movie out and its music. Anyway, just wanted to throw that one in there. I still haven't listened to that album.
It's okay. You don't have to. It's fine. I didn't even like it, and I am a big Taylor Swift fan, and I bought the vinyl, listened to the album, and then I didn't listen to the album on the vinyl. I had bought the vinyl and it was coming in the mail. I listened to it on Spotify, hated it, and returned the vinyl.
Yep, that all did happen. Anyway, so along with the movie, initially it was announced that Sony's intern animation division was working on a short film called Debut. They also did, for the Spider-Verse universe, a short film about Miles Morales. And it's really cool. It's for free on YouTube. I've watched it with Cooper. Again, amazing animation. There is no information right now about Debut other than it's called Debut. I'm kind of hoping that obviously it's going to be about Huntrix forming, right? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of hoping it is just a straight up music video of their debut single. That is what I'm envisioning for Debut. Do you have any thoughts about Debut? Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that is because it's a short film, and
yeah.
I watched the Miles Morales one and it's like 5 minutes long. So to make a music video, I think works really well. Basically, it was not announced that Netflix, Sony, and the rest of the people involved with KPop Demon Hunters had come to agreement on doing a sequel until like 24 hours ago, essentially. Basically, once all of the awards and nominations started coming in, that's when everyone was like, fine. Not the writers and directors of this movie. One of the directors went on record in an interview saying that she has enough material in her head to do multiple movies, a series, spin-off stuff, like a Broadway musical. She's got a musical ready to go. Like, she is ready to turn K-Pop Demon Hunters into a whole franchise. And Netflix was mad about the algorithm. And Sony doesn't like making money. Like, thankfully, they've just now started like partnering with things. We're recording this on the day that the K-Pop Demon Hunter vans dropped. Hasbro and Mattel have signed toy deals, so we're starting to get some stuff. So with number 2, scheduled currently for 2029. Hopefully they put something out in between then, more than just this short film. What are you hoping? And I'm not going to hold you to this because that's 4 years from now. We're both going to forget. What are you hoping comes up? What's going to come up? What are you hoping for in KPop Demon Hunters 2, the next tour?
I'm going to be on AO3 reading KPop Demon Hunters fan fiction until 2029. I will not forget.
So what are you hoping for?
I have this idea in my head because I want to learn about Rumi's parents' relationship, not just because it's like, how could she fall in love with a demon, but like also like there's like the potential for like a really powerful like message that like nobody's like fully gone or like, you know, accepting people. Like I think there could be a good message there, but I think it would be cool if they did like Rumi is like going on almost like a quest to like figure out who her dad is and like learning who he is and wanting to learn so that it's not just like a prequel film that's just like their parents, but like so that we can get that story while it's still being about Rumi and Mira and Zoe.
I've seen a lot of stuff out there of people wanting more of the backstory for Mira and Zoe. What we know is that Mira was the black sheep of her family, and that's really all we know about her. Mm-hmm. And that Zoe grew up in Burbank, USA. That's a line in the movie. She's a Korean American. So, and there's very subtle ways that they like to pepper in the fact that she's not like born and raised in Korea. A simple example is the fact that her character never raps in Korean. She always is singing in English. The theory is that she probably can speak Korean, but like not quickly enough to do like whole rap parts. So I've seen a lot of that. I don't think you could do a whole movie surrounding this, but I want to know what's going on with Celine. Because
I don't.
You don't? No. I figured you weren't going to care. I'm probably the only person who doesn't care.
Celine can go jump in a lake.
So what ends up happening? We didn't talk about this. She has a lot of disdain, and it's worthy. So Celine always knew that Rumi was part demon and was the one telling her to cover it up and hide it. And she trained all of the girls to conceal fear. That was like the big thing. Like
our faults and fears must never be seen.
Yep, that is like
Celine is the real villain of this movie.
She's not the typical evil Disney mom or evil Disney stepmom, but she's like a step below that. Mm-hmm. Eventually, when Rumi is outed for being a demon, part demon, I should say, she shows up to Celine. This is during the third act when everything's falling apart. She goes and finds Celine and basically says, do what you should have done in the first place and kill me.
Yeah.
And Celine refuses. She is like, oh, no. We're going to cover this up. We're going to come up with a story about how it was a trick by the Demon King and it wasn't really you and we're going to fix this. And Rumi was like, no, you're going to kill me or I'm going to go do this the way that I want to do this. Mm-hmm. And that is the last that we see of her. She doesn't show... this is where I think it would have been a Disney movie. She doesn't show back up in the third act to help the girls save the day. Yeah. There's no redemption. There's no follow-up. The mentor is flawed here. And I don't think you could do a whole story around it. But I am curious what the relationship is like now between her and the girls.
I hope they kicked her to the curb. Bye, Celine. Sorry. No. Mm-mm.
The sass from this woman.
No,
I have another thing about Zoe.
Uh-huh.
But I have to talk about the weapons first. So do you have any other thoughts about KPop Demon Hunters 2, the next tour? I don't know if that's what it's called.
I mean, at the end of the movie, they pan over a giant billboard that says It's like all three of them, and it says "come back." And I'm sorry if that doesn't scream sequel. I don't know what does.
Well, they're getting it. They got their sequel. So this is a martial art movie podcast, and combat. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like a lot of this historical nerdiness. Okay, it's historical nerdiness. So this is a kids movie. The fight sequences are still pretty good. There are some intense moments. There's some fun, intense moments. Zoe and Mira just repeatedly stabbing the demon that's laying on the ground. They're getting ready. They're getting ready to go kill the Sasha boys, and Zoe cries out "Kaka!" for no reason. There's no reason for it. Each one of the girls are carrying traditional Korean weapons that served very specific purposes and relate to their characters directly. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna do my best on this on the pronunciation of these. I apologize to anyone listening who knows how to speak Korean. I don't. I did take Taekwondo, so I can say some things, but because that's a weird thing in Taekwondo. They're really into learning the language. Anyway, so we'll start with Rumi. Rumi is carrying the San Goem.
Is there not a...
Goem. So this is a sword that roughly translates as tiger sword. Okay. The tiger sword was a ceremonial weapon. So this wasn't a sword that was used in combat.
Okay.
But hundreds of years ago, this was a ceremonial weapon used by royalty in shaman practices to ward off evil demons, evil spirits. And it's called the Tiger Blade because it was only forged in the year of the tiger, in the month of the tiger, on the day of the tiger. And I think there was even a specific time frame that it had to be built as well. So... And this does come up in the song Golden, that Rumi comes from royalty. And I think that's supposed to be a reference to her mom, who was a big pop star.
Right, because the literal line is that she's K-pop royalty.
I am curious if they could flesh that out more, and we find out that maybe her dad, the demon, was a demon king. They never say that the demon king in this movie is the demon king, this is the big guy. I think even in Jinu's song he sings when he first shows up, he calls him a demon king. So it is possible that maybe we find out that there is more royalty to Rumi than meets the eye, but that's her. So she's got the tiger blade. Next up we have Mira, and Mira is carrying a Gokdo polearm. So a polearm is anything that is a long stick with a blade on the end of it. You see this a lot in Kung Fu. And the West used this a lot in the Middle Ages. Spears, the long axes, all that kind of stuff, collectively is a polearm. A Gokdo was a weapon of innovation when it was first forged, because traditional polearms in China were just stick and blade.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that Mira's blade is curved at the top at a 45-degree angle? Yeah. That is a Gokdo. Okay. And that was a weapon of innovation because that gave the Koreans more reach with their blade over the Chinese. And to maybe put it this way, it was innovative and different and unique, like how Mira is essentially the goth girl of the group.
Right.
So hers is a little bit more one-to-one, I would say. I don't think there's really too much more you can read into it with hers. But then there's Zoe's.
Oh, boy. Is Zoe's really fun?
Zoe's is I think you're going to like Zoe's.
Okay,
you did like Rumi's, but I think you're going to really like Zoe's.
I know I made fun of you about this, but I love learning about things that I really have no use for. So this is actually very interesting.
Oh, you're a nerd. You want to talk about weapons, says the girl who anytime we go on vacation, wants to go to museums and zoos and all those good things because she likes to learn. So Zoe, I am not a weapons expert, obviously. I've had very little weapons training. She is carrying either throwing knives or short swords. It just kind of depends on... Okay. I'm sure it is 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. They are called shinkal. Shinkal, okay? These blades are still used to this day in the folk religion of Korea for divination. It's kind of like tea leaf reading. Okay. You drop the blades, and how they are laying on the ground gives some kind of interpretation, some kind of divination.
Okay.
Also, those tassels. Mm-hmm. Those are tassels that are worn on the shaman's outfits. Okay. And in the Korean folk religion, women are typically shaman. It is not a male-dominated religion. It is typically women are shaman. So here's my pitch. We really lean into Zoe in the next movie because I feel like she could really appeal to young audience members. Uh-huh. She's Bubbles. She's Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. Rumi's Blossom. Mira's Buttercup. Zoe is Bubbles. So I feel like she could really resonate with people. Zoe starts having visions. She gets like psychic abilities. I see. And goes solo because she sees a vision about something happening to the girls, and so she goes solo to protect them and go solve whatever this big thing is. That's my pitch. I have no idea where they're going with this next one, and I will be happy with whatever they give us. I don't want to be that toxic Star Wars fan that was like, oh, my fan fiction that I wrote was better. Like, that's just a pitch based off of the research I'm doing. But yeah, I thought that was really fascinating. I love that even down to the weapons themselves, like, there was specific thought put into this related to the character more than just, here's your nunchucks, go have fun, right. You know? Because also nunchucks wouldn't be the right country as well.
I did like that in the beginning, at the very beginning, when it's like the first set of warriors, one of them has like a bow and arrow.
Celine has a sai as well. Okay. Which is cool. I don't really know much about it. I didn't really dig into it. But yeah, it looks like each... You don't really get to see much of the other generations of hunters other than like a quick blip of each one. But from the little that we do see, apparently each one gets their own kind of weapon. It's not like these 3 weapons are passed down generationally. Right. So
it's like whatever weapon would suit you best or whatever.
Something along those lines, yeah. So... that was KPop Demon Hunters. Any final thoughts, or have we talked it to death?
I don't know. I just love it so much.
Okay, so I will do the usual thing, although I don't know if this will really work. So let's just get the dumb question out of the way. Would you watch KPop Demon Hunters again?
I'll watch it again right now.
Netflix is kind of hit or miss with this next question, so we'll see how it is. Would you want a physical media copy of this movie?
100%.
Sometimes Netflix does that. Sometimes they don't. It seems like the really popular things they do. So it's possible. They even put it in theaters sporadically. So it could happen. But yes, please.
Please, Netflix.
I have a lot to talk about with Netflix.
Do one thing right in your life. And give us a DVD copy or a Blu-ray or whatever the heck.
VHS tape.
That would be so cool.
do something right for once in your life, Netflix. Yeah. You know, in like 2-3 weeks from now, I'm gonna do the first coming soon episode of 2026, and I have a lot to talk about with Netflix because they've just spent some money on something.
I swear, Netflix, I swear, if you cancel Heated Rivalry, or if you stop distributing Heated Rivalry now that you own HBO, I'm going to be so mad at you. I'm going to be so mad at you.
So one of the fun parts about the whole 30 minutes or less thing is that in real time, I don't know if we're going to make it or not, but obviously you, listener, could have just pulled up the episode and saw that, oh, this went for 50 minutes. Loser. So as I said, with this now, I have to take on a challenge, which I'm not completely bummed about because I think I have a good one in mind for this, but I am also kind of bummed because I had it whittled down to one left for the year, and now I'm just like, okay, whatever, I'll work on this in 2026. So a lot of this movie is about authenticity, being brave with who you are, like owning who you are. And there is something that I have always wanted to do, but every time that the opportunity presents itself, I back out.
Okay.
And so, in the spirit of, she's like right on top of me right now, anticipating.
I'm just listening.
So, in the spirit of authenticity, I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to make a cosplay. And I am going to do a cosplay inspired by one of the characters from KPop Demon Hunters. I'm not going to tell you which one. I actually, because I knew this episode was going to go long, I've started kind of putting some ideas together.
Are you going to tell me?
Oh yeah, as soon as this is over, I'll tell you because you'll probably need to help me a little bit. So I am going to make a K-pop Demon Hunters cosplay. I have always wanted to cosplay. I think it's really cool. I love going to Comic-Cons and just seeing like the really creative costumes, the characters that you would never think that would be put together. Somebody would cosplay as. I was at a Comic-Con earlier this year, and there was a girl walking around as Oscar the Grouch, trash can and all. Like, or people walking around as the Black Knight from Monty Python without arms. Like, it's... And then, of course, there's... Well, this is on a Christian podcast network. I probably shouldn't say anything else. I'm going to get a text now from Josh. So
Edit that out.
Yeah, editor Brandon, do that part. You never do anything. I need to get like a bell ringing sound effect, like ding ding, for these times when I go over the 30-minute mark to play at the 30-minute mark. I need like a thing. Anyway, so I'm going to be making a K-pop Demon Hunters cosplay, and I will at least take a picture of it and put it on Instagram. Maybe I'll make a video of me doing something from the movie. And then if I'm a big boy enough, I'll even wear it to a Comic-Con. If I'm a big boy enough. You're going to do one now, too, just to go with me, aren't you? Who would you do?
I don't know. I'm not pretty enough to be the K-pop. I'm not pretty enough to be Huntrix.
That's silly. Don't do that. Do you want to be Billy, their manager?
Bobby, first.
Bobby. You're right, Bobby. Played by the great Dr. Ken Jeong, who's in everything.
I want to be Derpy Tiger.
You're gonna be Derpy Tiger.
Unless you're gonna be Derpy Tiger.
I will tell you this. My plan was not Derpy Tiger. Okay, so you can take Derpy Tiger. Thank you all for listening to this episode. I know it was a little long, but hey, you're gonna get something fun on the back end of it, and I don't have to watch a Steven Seagal movie, so that's also great. Again, you can follow Claire over on Instagram at Reader of the Rebellion. All one word.
Yes.
All one word at Reader of the Rebellion. And you can follow this show also on Instagram at KungFuPizzaPrty. You can follow it on Letterboxd, KungFuPizzaPrty, where you can get a review of the movie before the episode comes out. We actually watched this movie a while ago and a few times since then, and so that's been sitting there for a while now. And you can check out my YouTube channel, Studio 219, a place for faith and pop culture, and the other great shows here on the Anazao Ministries podcast network, like Systematic Geekology, the Whole Church podcast, and my sister show, My Seminary Life, where I talk about all things faith, theology, and whatnot. And Claire may have a project in development as well. We'll see. I will give you updates if that is a thing. She also forgot that she has a project in development. But I'll give you some updates on that when it does happen. This has been Kung Fu Pizza Party, where you got an episode, and it definitely served up some wisdom one slice at a time. See you all next time.